Hello again, Internet, Sir Mutton here, and well, we are headed to South Karana. I'm going to go ahead and kill this furry and feathery fiend, and lay him to waste and loot him, and then scurry on over to the other zone. And well, you can see in the background there, the backdrop, there's the wizard spires, and I don't really remember actually if those are the classic looking ones, because it's been such a long time. I think they are. I mean, obviously they were in Velios or Canark, because I remember them looking that way, but I don't know, maybe they were shorter in Classic, just the first original Everquest, I'm not too sure. But anyway, this was a big meeting place for a lot of people to meet at the Wizard Spire. It's kind of a, waypoint, so they could figure out where they're going. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and zone over to the next area. Going to see a a little dead Nomi here in a minute. I don't know what the story is behind this, but, well, whatever. Try to pronounce that name. Gahelia, or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, magically the weather cleared up, and we have a good forecast. No deaths in the future, hopefully. And here's Brother Quinn. This is for the Robe of Lost Circle quest, and I really want this robe desperately. It's kind of a ready off red color, kind of a brown red mixture, and oh, it just looks so cool. I mean, the stats are great and everything, but really like the Jedi look, and that is one of the robes that just really nails it. If there was a brown one, like kind of a, earthy brown color, I'd really like that. But I'm just getting into it. Now I'm starting to sound like Martha Stewart or something. If we could get a tawny color and maybe, mix things up and have a nice zesty salad. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, we're taking out centaurs here. We're just absolutely slaughtering them. Now, the best thing about killing these guys is you can slaughter families. I mean, you can commit genocide on centaurs, and you get no faction hits whatsoever. And that is like one of the most rarest things in EverQuest. No faction hits. So we're taking full advantage of this bad boy and killing as many as possible. And the another really good side bonus to this is that there's actually a centaur merchant. You'll see him in a little bit. And you can buy and sell, from and to, and, none the wiser. It's really nice. Actually, that's pretty common in this zone, actually, not having any faction hits, which is really strange. It's like an anomaly in the game. But anyway, I'm grouped up here with a necromancer, that would be the gnome, and a druid, the wood elf. Now, the interesting about these, the interesting thing about these two people are that they're actually real life brother and sister, or so they said. And I have no reason to doubt them. I mean, I don't think they were two boxing. There's way too much conversation going on and interplay for that to be going on, unless the person was a really good ventriloquist. And if they are, then I guess they deserve to two box. But but anyway, yeah, they're brother and sister, so I was playing with them, and we're getting really good experience actually. And it's kind of a weird group. I mean, you got two people that can solo, and then you got me. And, well, I guess in the end, it doesn't really matter. We're having a lot of fun. And here I am strafing, like a pro. I like strafing. And actually, it worked really well because I have a two-hand blunt here. And had I had, fair warning, I would have grabbed my one-hand blunt staves and been able to do this a lot better. But, that said, with such short notice, you're gonna have to improvise, and that's what I did. I improvised like a king, like a boss. But we're doing not too bad, and I don't know, it's a pretty interesting zone. Now there are some really cool rare named mobs here. I've killed a few of them. One of them was a halfling, and she drops kind of a crummy axe, but then she also drops this pretty okay shield. It's like I want to say 15 AC, 5 agility. I don't know, don't quote me on that. But it's called a bark shield. And I'll just probably link it in the bottom, because I don't remember all the specifics. That's not my job. I'm not a statistics person. I'm not going to go around doing the census. But either way, we're doing pretty good. We're not going to die, hopefully. And we're taking out just about anything that's blue, even con, yellow con around. And not doing too shabby. I'm the pooler for the most part. We do kind of mix things up here and there, and it gets a little dicey. But well, we're doing fine. These guys seem to know what they're doing. I guess they played these way back when. Unlike me, they went with the class that they knew best. And maybe I should have done that. I don't know. Regrets, I've had a few. But well, all that aside, I think I'm doing okay. You know, I'm still getting some hits in here. It's really hard trying to negotiate around the trees and make these hard rights and stuff. But you know, he's leading on pretty well. We got a nice conga line going on here, and I'm getting a few good hits with my two-hand blunt, my Woo's quivering staff. And anyways, so the other rare mob here that I was looking for was a troll. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name, and I don't even remember it. Even if I could, I wouldn't be able to pronounce it. But he drops I think it was like a 30 or 35% weight reduction bag, and I really was wanting that. Really wouldn't have mind picking up that nice little package. But, well, he's a really rare spawn, or at least from what I can tell. And if you don't have tracking, you just forget about it, you know. And if there's somebody in the zone with tracking, you're screwed. You're just wasting your time. You can go do something else, because they're going to get to it before you, unless you have really good luck. And, well, from my experience, I don't have luck in that area. I have kind of the opposite luck. But, yeah, it's becoming nightfall, and we've got a elephant pet. It's always nice. Goring away at the half horse, half man. And I think that's what they are. Centaurs. I'm not up to my mythology too much. I know pans are like half goats, half human, or pygmies. I don't know. But we're doing a good job here. Not to pat ourselves in the back too much. And, well, it's kind of easier actually to work this all out in third-person perspective. And that's what I'm doing. But sometimes you get a little too ahead of the horse. That's bad. And you can't hit them, so those sort of things happen. Now I'm not looting here. I don't really care about loot. I'm just trying to learn the ropes, and it's not too difficult. I really like outdoor pulling. You know, last video it kind of sounded like I was, you know, poo-pooing it, pulling all together. I like pulling. It's a lot of fun. That didn't sound right. Pull on your own time, sir. It's funny, actually. Sometimes I have my little ink button there where I say incoming, and I fiddle around with what I say in that, but if I accidentally have myself clicked, sometimes it'll happen when I'm pulling, and it'll say that I'm pulling myself. So people are like, "Oh, do that on your own time, man. You know, both hands on the keyboard." They have a lot of fun, you know, taking jabs at you. But touche. I can get in there and be somewhat as clever. So yeah, the necromancer here is pulling. Not the best idea, as you'll soon find out, because I am the higher level of the three, and well, you're going to find out here in a second that it's just not a good idea. Casters are pretty low on hit points to start out with anyway, so yeah. And plus, this guy cons red to them since he's yellow to me, and that means resists. So yeah, things get kind of hairy, kind of really hairy. And I don't just mean this guy's torso and lower regions. No. And not just his beard either. That is a nice beard, but he still must die. You still must go down. I don't know what kind of beard that is. Is it like a short box beard? Or is that a ducktail? I think that's a ducktail, man. He's rocking the ducktail. Oh, yeah. Well, he doesn't have mutton chops or sideburns, so he must die. And it's just, you know, that's not anything to be admired, actually. I take it back. You know, mutton chops or sideburns or go home. So yeah, we're gonna kill him because he's lacking in the facial hair, I don't know, creativity, and we must teach him a lesson. So now we're gonna move on to the other one. We killed the merchant. That was the merchant, by the way. In case you didn't know, I should have introduced you guys beforehand. Anyhow, or maybe this is the merchant. I don't know. One of the two is a merchant. I don't usually use them too much because the loot here isn't that great. There's some okay loot, but you get some banded occasionally, some ring mail. So yeah, we're gonna kill this green right here, real quick. I don't know what happened. Maybe the elephant got temperamental. They had a disagreement, but you know, I'm here to break the fight up, and this guy he won't ease off. So I gotta do what I gotta do, you know. These things happen, you know. So yeah, time to forget about that horrible situation and move on to the next one. Keep creating horrible situations. But like I said, they have no memory of this. There's no faction hits, and thankfully I've got this damage shield on me because this guy hits pretty hard. Ugh. I mean, even for a yellow con, that is nasty. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and kill him. And you're having a little bit of trouble finagling, getting things in order so we can have a nice conga line. That's the idea. You want to get things kind of moving in a nice figure eight, so you can just keep slowly butchering and taking them down, get them at the knees, and turn them into horse meat. Which is strange that they don't drop horse meat, or at least human meat. I don't know. I'm confused, Some things drop meat, some things don't drop meat. I don't know. But we're going to kill them anyway. And actually, I think one of these dropped a weight reduction... what do they call those things? Good. My brain's not working. Quiver. Things that hold arrows. I was going to say things that hold arrows. Quiver. And stupidly, actually no, none of these guys dropped that. It's another one that's named that wanders around. I killed him, right? And I got the nice little quiver and whatnot. And I didn't think it was worth much. I was like, oh well, whatever. Nobody's gonna want this. So I went ahead and sold it to the merchant for like a couple platinum. Somebody else in my guild bought it later on and sold it for a pretty good price. And I felt like a complete boob. I was like, "Did you buy it off the merchant, the gypsies in the Karanas?" He's like, "Yeah, I found it there a couple of days ago." I was like, "Yeah, that's when I sold it." I guess my loss is their gain. I don't know. Lesson learned, But well, these things happen. You got to figure out your way in the auctioning. I'm not the best auctioneer. Really, to be honest, I have no patience for it unless it's a really good item that I worked really hard to get. I just assume sell it off at a pretty low price. I just don't have the patience or the wherewithal. I like going and doing the stuff and dying a lot and questing and whatnot. So yeah, now it's time to kill some crag spiders. These are classic, and they got tons of spider silks on them, so you can do all your tailoring, or you can sell them off. So that's always nice. And I'm still getting experience from them, so why not, And I love the hand wraps they have on. Those just look really cool. There are some other kinds that are, I don't remember, there's like Griffon fists or something, and they look like banded. I don't care for those. But there's Treant fists that are like black, but the quest is really hard. I've killed 2 of the alchemists for it, but you have to kill something else in Runny Eye that's pretty high up. It's low in levels, like the bottom level of Runny Eye, but it's high up in levels, its actual level, if I'm making any sense. Probably not. But it's pretty hard to kill, and I'm just not going to bother. I mean, they look cool, but they don't have great stats on them. They're just purely vanity, and I don't want to leave too many corpses in Runny Eye, so I'm going to opt out on that one. But there are whitened ones. They're whitened Treant fists. WTF, there's a little humor there, because they drop in the plane of sky, POS, which is piece of shit. And if you don't know what WTF stands for, then you really need to look up and bone up on your acronyms, your internet acronyms. But I'll leave you to that. Right now, it's time to kill some bandits. And I've seen these before here. I remember this from way back when, up in this ledge area, which I fell down quite a few times. Don't use auto run. I'll just say that. Bad idea. I don't know what I was thinking. But anyway, yeah, I'm high enough level to kill these guys, and hey, if I can, I will. That's what I say. I'm an opportunist in this game, and that's what I do. So yeah, it about wraps everything up for Karanas. I'm gonna move on to, I don't know, either high keep or high hold keep or whatever, or Everfrost. I'm kind of torn because they're about the same level I did it, so I don't know. But each one will only be 1 episode, and then we'll move on to some really, really good stuff. Some Warslick Woods. And those were good times. And then Frontier Mountains. That was my favorite zone by far. So yeah, until next time, well, kill some bandits, have some fun, don't fall off ledges like I do. Yeah.